Welcome to Valley Politics. I'm Terry Christensen. Our guests today are Irene Smith and Omar Torres, the top two of 5 candidates for San Jose City Council District 3 in the June primary. They now face each other in the November runoff election. By way of background, District 3 is comprised of downtown San Jose and surrounding neighborhoods. The population of the district is 45% Latino, 26% Asian, 24% white, and 3% black. And it's a growing district with a lot of new high-rise housing planned or under construction. Let's meet the candidates. Welcome everyone, and welcome Omar Torres and Irene Smith. We've asked both of you to keep your answers to about a minute if you can. Follow-ups are acceptable. We're going to have some questions from community members as we go along, and we will have a tough lightning round of questions eventually. But let's just start with why each of you is running and what you hope to bring to the City Council. Omar, start with you.
Absolutely. So I'm running for San Jose City Council for many reasons. I grew up in an underserved community called the Guadalupe, Washington neighborhood, and it was a neighborhood where every single day I saw prostitution, I saw crime, I saw drug dealing. My friends were joining gangs, and throughout that process, we said enough is enough, and many of us from all ages organized, worked with our city and our county to bring in resources into this severely underserved community over 25 years ago. And since then, we've gone a little bit safer. We've created open spaces. We've created public spaces like libraries and youth centers that are extremely important for underserved communities. And that's why I'm running. I want to bring the community voice to San Jose City Hall. And I've continued to do that for over 25 years, organizing underserved communities and bringing them to the table and making important decisions for their families, their jobs, and their livelihood. So that's why I want to be on the San Jose City Council.
Okay, thanks, Irene.
I'm running because my neighborhood and my D3 is in a crisis. We've asked for action for a long time, and there hasn't been any sense of urgency at all from the city. So from our perspective, the city is pretty much stuck in the muck, and they're repeating over and over what they've been doing. They're pouring more mud into the hole that they've dug, and then they're asking for more money to dig themselves out. And if we look at this pattern, this system, we have to ask ourselves, who is benefiting from this and who's not benefiting? And from my perspective, it's big that benefits. It's big government that benefits, it's big business that benefits, it's big nonprofits, and it's big special interests that benefit. And the folks that are losing, those are me, those are my neighbors. That's the guy that's living on the sidewalk and somebody's asking him to stay there and live there for another 5 years until we build housing. It's the couple that's looking for an apartment that's affordable. It's the small business owner that needs to be able to survive, and they're just inundated with bureaucracy. And from my perspective, D3 needs a brand new voice, a different perspective that can shake off this mud and have a call to action. And I'm running because of my D3 recovery plan, and I think that's the beginning of our answers.
Well, we'll probably get into that plan eventually. You're both well aware that homelessness and blight are primary concerns of the residents, not just of D3, but all over the city of San Jose. And both of you have campaigned on this issue. I think the city and county have actually done a lot to address homelessness, but clearly it's not enough. So what would you do differently? Irene, you start.
Well, right now we see that there's been an 11% increase in homelessness in San Jose, despite what you say in terms of all of the millions of dollars that we've spent and this long parade of programs and policies. We just can't seem to get unstuck. And so from from my plan, I have 2 points that I think that will address affordability and 1 point that will impact homelessness. And the 1 point that impacts homelessness is the incremental ladder of housing success. And we meet clients exactly where they're at in tents, and we stabilize them so that they have a place to call home, and then we do the wraparound services that are necessary. And then from an affordability standpoint, we can talk about our rental vouchers that actually will help prevent homelessness and keep families housed. And then I also want to talk about better utilization of the spaces that we have. We can keep building, but I want to use the empty government spaces, the empty offices, the empty bedrooms, and better utilize and reprioritize the space that we already have so that we can do stuff right now.
Okay, Omar?
Well, we know that permanent supporting housing needs to be our goal. However, there's many challenges of creating this permanent supportive housing in a timely manner. But we can no longer just wait for it. We need to offer short and long-term solutions to the problems of our unhoused crisis, because it is a humanitarian crisis. And short-term, we all know, are safe parking spaces by working with our local nonprofits and our churches, working with VTA and the water district for surplus land. And long-term solutions is obviously permanent supportive housing, making sure that we're building affordable housing for our unhoused along transportation corridors, along other major corridors, urban villages. We need to create a mobile response center for our unhoused, where for 24/7 they can come and get the services they need, mental health services, drug addiction. We cannot let the situation get any worse. We need to offer solutions, and there's short-term and long-terms, and there's going to be solutions where folks are not going to like, both on the left and the right. But as your city council member, we need to offer those solutions, have conversations with our residents, because this is a crisis, and it's affecting everyone. It's affecting folks from Washington to Nagley Park to Vendome. We need to offer these solutions, have conversations with our community, and make sure that we are housing our unhoused and they have the resources and tools to come out of their tents, hopefully into a permanent supportive housing.
Thank you, Omar. So both of you are advocating for change in slightly different ways, but change. But Omar, your critics say you're too much of an insider to actually make change. And Irene, your critics say you're too inexperienced to actually make change. So what's your response to those critics? Omar?
My response to those critics has always to smile and prove people wrong. I have always worked and collaborated in the numerous positions that I've had as a neighborhood organizer, nonprofit executive, city hall employee, school board member, to work with others, from folks on the left, on the right, in the middle, yes, no, maybe so. For me, offering solutions is extremely important. Building partnerships is extremely important. It's very strange to be sitting here knowing that I actually have the most experience out of both of us when it comes to dealing with our unhoused, when it comes to dealing with crime in our neighborhoods, when it comes to cleaning our neighborhoods. I have that experience, and I've worked with everyone to make that happen.
Irene?
So you're saying that I'm too inexperienced, or my critics are saying that I'm too inexperienced with government. And I think that's true, but I think that that's the asset that I bring to the table, including being an independent. If you look at the city council or any one of the candidates that ran, there's nobody that has the combination of skills that I have. I'm a small business owner, I'm a pro tem judge, I'm an administrative hearing officer for Santa Clara County, I'm on the board of directors for a sentencing alternatives program, for where folks are given a sentence and then we give them an alternative rather than spending time in prison. So I don't see anybody else with that kind of experience and that ability to bring those tools together to focus on the solutions that are for just D3.
Okay, thank you. So now we have a question from a community member. This is Cristian Kloes, who is a student at San Jose State University. Here's Cristian.
Hello, candidates. As you may know, California's interstate highway system champions automobile dependency, leading to a fossil fuel powerhouse that's composed of millions of automobiles that contributes one of the largest sources of carbon emissions in the state. Now, transit-oriented development is a method of city planning that organizes buildings strategically around public transportation. Seeing that solutions such as transit-oriented development and increased reliance on modern public transportation can help combat climate change, I would like to know, will you aggressively support such solutions?
Irene?
Absolutely. I think that the future of San Jose is going to be based on how we organize our transportation. And BART is a great example. We are dependent on BART working. But I don't think BART is the only answer. I think we should be looking at smart freeways, smart roads, smart cars, smart buses, and microtransit. And I think that gives us the whole big picture. BART has some definite concerns. They had a severe budget overrun. They also managed to hide their overrun, and they also are refusing certain audits. So I think that we need to really straighten out that management team at BART, that they can demonstrate that they can manage exceptionally large budgets, and then put the trust back into them, because right now the public doesn't trust them, and we are desperate for that kind of transportation system to make a difference from our environment and a global environment, because right now we're seeing the fires and the heat.
Yeah. Omar, transit-oriented development?
I support, especially since most of these projects are going to bring in more affordable housing here in the city of San Jose, especially since most of these projects are going to have more than 15% affordable housing than other developments throughout our city. Starting with in downtown San Jose, with BART coming in, I'm glad that that's happening. However, we also need to spread the love around San Jose. So we all know that it's official that down the 87, we have light rail, and that's considered a transit district. So we need to make sure that we're building affordable housing along the 87. That's because we need to spread the love. We just cannot continue to build affordable housing just in downtown San Jose. It's important to have mixed neighborhoods throughout our District 3, throughout our city of San Jose. But with that, I also want to make sure that we are not displacing our residents when these transit-oriented developments are happening. We need to make sure that our residents and our small businesses are able to stay there when these massive projects happen. And so, though I'm supportive, we just got to make sure that we're working with our community to make sure that they have a say and that they're able to move into these buildings. Not only as residents, but our workers as well who are building these buildings. Because we all know transit-oriented development is going to bring good, paying, quality jobs here in the city of San Jose, improving our local economy.
Thank you. Here's a related question. District 3 has several urban village plans in place. Five Wounds, Little Portugal, Alum Rocky, Santa Clara, and so on. These have been developed by community members over a significant period of time. I was very involved in 5 of those urban village plans, again, by community members. What are you going to do as a council member when a developer comes to you and says, the community plan's really good, but I don't want to do that thing. I want to do something different from the plan. Do you just change the plan to accommodate the developer? What do you do? Irene?
I don't think that you can change the plan to accommodate the developer, nor can you change the plan just to accommodate the community. But you can change the plan to find something that's a happy medium between both the developer and the community. There's always space in there for a solution. I've given the orange example so many times, but there's an orange where there's an argument between a mother and 2 daughters who want the same orange. And it's a vicious argument argument. They both want it desperately, and the mother is just beside herself trying to find a solution. And come to find out that one daughter wanted the skin of the orange to bake with, and the other daughter wanted the orange of the inside to eat with. So I firmly believe that with collaboration and finding out what the needs are between the community and the developer, that we can find the way to separate the orange and satisfy both parties.
Right.
Omar?
So we know that we're in a housing crisis. We know that. And it is important for developers to work with our community to make sure that their voices are being listened to. I get it. Developers want to come in, build their buildings, bring in folks, have businesses under their buildings. I get it. That's extremely important. But we also, as a council member, we also have to be proactive and have the political will to give some pushback to some of these developers, because it is the community, they're coming into a community and building. And for me, it has always been important for our community to have a seat at the table. When I was a neighborhood president in the Guadalupe, Washington Neighborhood Association, there was a couple of affordable housing developments that came in, and we as a community sat together, all of us, to talk about new development that's happening in our community. And we told the city and we told the developers what our community needed. And so educating our community, creating dialogue with developers is extremely important, and I'm going to continue to do that as council member for District 3.
Yeah, the tougher part in both of your answers is getting the developers to accommodate a little bit to community.
Absolutely.
So
Agreed.
you'll have your
Yes.
you'll have your job set for you.
Yes.
So now it's time for our lightning round. One-word answers if possible. You can pass if you don't want to make a choice. Omar, starting with you, what's your favorite coffee house in District 3?
Con azúcar.
Irene?
Voyager.
Irene, do you support the Community Opportunity to Purchase Act, or COPA?
Depends.
I do.
Omar, do you support Mayor Liccardo's proposal to require liability insurance for gun owners?
Depends.
No.
Top Gun or Elvis?
Elvis.
Omar?
Top Gun. I wasn't alive during Elvis's tenure.
Irene, what's your favorite park in District 3?
Oh, you know, St. James, because it has the potential.
It does. Omar?
The Brenda Lopez Memorial Plaza in Washington neighborhood.
Mine's William Street. Support or oppose electronic billboards? Omar?
Depends.
Oppose.
Support or oppose more bike lanes? Irene?
Support.
Support.
Omar, which previous representative of District 3 do you most admire?
Cindy Chavez.
You can always pass.
I guess I'll have to pass. No, I don't know.
Okay. Irene, if you were to come back as an animal in your next life, what animal would it be?
A unicorn.
Omar, top that.
A bear, because I've been hardly sleeping during the campaign. So a bear,
Okay, yeah.
sleeping bear.
Hibernation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's another question from a constituent. This is Ann Clarke with the League of Women Voters. Here's Ann.
Hi, I'm Anne, and I'm curious, what is your experience in working in coordination with San Jose State University, and how would you work to enhance that town and gown relationship? Thank you.
Irene?
I think that we can strengthen that relationship because we have such a close community. We have access to incredible education, and I think that the opening starts with housing. We have a lot of students who are homeless without housing, and I can't imagine what it's like to sleep in your car and go to class. So I think that our first opening with San Jose State is to figure out how we work together to get those needs of those students addressed, because those folks are our future. And if they're willing to sleep in a car to get an education, good grief, let's help them.
The figure I've seen is 11% of San Jose State student population is homeless at one time
Yes.
or another in their time at the university. Omar, San Jose State.
Well, as the only homegrown candidate in the race, I graduated from San Jose State, and I'm proud that I graduated from San Jose State. But I also went to San Jose State when San Jose State was barely coming into our community. Before, there was an invisible gate around San Jose State University. Folks like yourself, Imelda, and President Correa, I believe was his
Correct.
Correct was his name, was able to come out and learn that our community was in need of a whole slew of services, and that our San Jose State students can provide their services. And we know, because we have a better relationship with our San Jose State students, that 11% of them are unhoused. And not only as a City Hall employee, but as a private citizen, I have been able to work with our Unhoused Coalition on making sure our students, our folks, have the tools and resources they need to have a roof under their head, go to San Jose State, graduate, give back to your community. Because if you hadn't all noticed, folks who graduate from San Jose State tend to come back into their communities and give back. And that's been happening because of programs like Communiversity, which, by the way, as a student, I participated in for many, many, many years. And the neighborhoods that we would go into are communities like McKinley in District 3 and Oberlander, and we made sure that kids were succeeding, kids were healthy, but most importantly, that kids were safe. And I'm, as your council member, as District 3 council member, I'm gonna make sure that San Jose State continues to be the jewel in downtown San Jose, that there is no invisible fence. I'm so glad that I'm seeing more students at Voyager. There was always that, when I was going to San Jose State, there was always also that invisible line that you don't pass 4th Street Pizza. And now sometimes we can't find a spot to sit at Voyager because there's San Jose State students studying for their midterms there, but that's okay. That's what we want.
Okay, so we have another question from a constituent now. This is Ralph Portillo. Ralph is the proprietor of Acopio, which is a great new restaurant
McKinley Bonita.
on 24th Street. Yeah, so here's Ralph's question.
Hi, my name is Ralph. Our district is unique in San Jose for its large central downtown surrounded by different neighborhoods. My question for you is, what ideas do you have for encouraging more walking and biking in our neighborhoods and improving the experience and safety?
Omar?
So we have to put our money where our mouth is. We need to make sure that we're fully funding Vision Zero. We need to make sure that we are making sure that our neighborhoods are walkable. He is spot on his concerns. He is in an area where hundreds and thousands of cars pass through every single day. So it's a little bit unsafe for our families, and it's a little bit unsafe for his customers who are walking from Oberlander or walking from McKinley or even walking from Little Portugal. So we need to make sure that we have corridors like the 24th McLaughlin corridor and William Street corridor, making sure that although they are a little bit outside of downtown San Jose, that we make sure that they are friendly to pedestrians, friendly to our cyclists, because that is our mode of transportation for the future. We need to create cities, we need to create neighborhoods that are walkable in the city of San Jose. And that is one of the first neighborhoods that I believe that we should start in.
Irene?
I think that walkability starts with safety, and it starts with a place to go, and it starts with less boarded out buildings. So one of the things that I want to see done is the foot patrol for the police, and I would like to see that expanded. And I'd like to see us have more places to go with less buildings that are closed down on Santa Clara Street, so that a mother and daughter can walk down Santa Clara Street and feel comfortable. And then we need to have places to go, because it's great to go to Cafe Azucar, but we need additional places to be able to go and have a destination to be there and feel safe going and feel safe being there.
I want to point out that from I would say 4th Street all the way up to where Cafe de Canto is, there are no coffee shops for our neighborhoods in District 3. And when we want to talk about walkable neighborhoods and revitalizing our economy. We need to
Places
bring
to
in,
go.
Yeah.
Of
we need
course.
places to go. And so I love Cafe de Canto, but it is technically 1 foot into District 5. So, but we definitely need to create more coffee shops along our East Santa Clara corridor.
Places to go.
Places to go.
So there's a community advisory group working on police reform at the moment. Do you two feel the police need reform? Do you have any ideas of specific reforms yet? I know you're not in office yet, but what are you thinking about, Omar?
Yes, absolutely. Every police department needs to be transparent and be held accountable to our local community. We need to bring back community policing here in the city of San Jose. Right now, our police department, which is dangerously overstaffed, is not too popular in our communities.
Dangerously overstaffed?
Understaffed.
Okay.
Dangerously understaffed, sorry. Dangerously understaffed. But they're not too popular with our local communities as well. Because I feel that ever since we attacked their pension and we cut their pay and laid many of them off, that we've lost our focus on community policing. And for us to build better relationships with our police department, we need to go back to community policing, making sure that neighbors and our police department are working together and have faith in each other.
Irene?
I think reform is critical. And I know a lot of people actually left that reform organization saying that it wasn't working. So we have to look at what wasn't working and how we can make it better. But in 2002, we were named the safest city in the United States, and we've lost that. So I would like to see us add to the police, and at the same time, redevelop how they do policing. They'll be the set that continues to do policing as always, but we have, for example, one of the other ways of doing policing is the MCAT police. And sadly, it's still a pilot program. I've been out with them several times. Each of the officers speak over 3 languages, and they're the mental health arm of the police, and they're trained in FBI de-escalation techniques. So this is the type of thing that we need to be looking at from a wider perspective of policing when we talk about reform and we talk about transparency and responding appropriately to the community.
Thank you. We've got about a minute left. Sorry about that, but that gives you 30 seconds each to wrap up. Omar?
Yes, so I would be honored by your vote. I'm the most experienced candidate in this field. I have, for 25 years, offered solutions for our city of San Jose, our beautiful city of San Jose, on numerous issues: unhoused, economic development, bringing in folks that normally don't have a say on city issues. And on November 8th, I would love your vote.
Irene?
I have been in downtown and D3 specifically for 33 years, and we are at an absolute crisis point. The city has basically tanked on really critical indicators like crime and homelessness and encampment fires. And when I go out and talk to people, everybody feels the same way. We are absolutely at our wits' end, and we need an action plan. And there are thousands of us who feel this way and want dramatic, visible results now.
Thank you, Irene Smith, Omar
Thank
Torres.
you for having us.
Good luck with your campaigns, and thank you for running.
Thank you.
We'll be back next month to continue our series of conversations with the runoff candidates in all the local elections. Meanwhile, you can follow us on Facebook, and you can catch up on all our previous shows on our website at creatvsj.org or on YouTube by searching for Create TV San Jose. And now, that's all, folks. Thanks for watching.